Let us do Prarthana and start the session. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Om Annado Sri Jagannada Madguru Sri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Om Akhanda Mandala Karam Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. The only Guru of three religions, Traitatiram originator, sensational writer, Hindu virtue donor, the emperor of spiritual kingdom, Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwar. We are learning Vidya Guhya Yogam chapter from Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita. Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita was written by Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwaralu. Last week we learned from 3rd Slokam to 5th Slokam in Vidya Guhya Yogam. Let us recap what we learned last week. The one who has no interest on learning dharmas, he can't know about Paramatma, the absolute soul, and he will be always in the birth and death cycle. So God himself said that since it is a bigger secret, big education and big secret. So whenever somebody could learn this big education and follow it, that means he should be following the dharmas. When he follows the dharmas, he could get liberated. That is the ultimate thing. So if somebody is not interested in learning the divine wisdom and following the dharmas, that means he will be learning the karma, he will be earning the karma always. So he would be taking birth and death forever itself. So then what Paramatma is saying here is, so invisibly he is spread whole world. All the creatures are within him, but he is not in them. He is not in the creatures itself. So when we think about this world, universe, there are so many universes, multiverses, many things which are infinite, right? Everything is within him itself. So our planet Earth, sky, our planet Earth, moon, sun, galaxies, so many things, everything is within him. All the creatures also within him. That is why he said Matstani Bhutani, all the creatures are within him itself. Then what he said after that in the 5th Slokam, all the creatures are not in me, I am a Lord. See me as a Lord of all, and I am not like a immortal soul in the body and not even like a mortal soul in the body. Here there is a controversy in understanding the 4th Slokam and 5th Slokam. Since in 4th Slokam he said all the creatures are within him, in the 5th Slokam he said immediately none of the creatures are in me. Okay, so here Matstani Bhutani is belonging to 4th Slokam, Nachamastani Bhutani is belonging to 5th Slokam. So there are some Swamijis who are teaching wisdom. They don't know the difference between Bhagavan and absolute soul. So without knowing that, they will be speaking about them mix and match kind of thing. So wherever we have to refer Paramatma, they refer Bhagavan. Wherever we need to refer Bhagavan, they will refer about the Paramatma. So here we need to understand in such a way that we cannot, there is nothing left. There is nothing left in the learning of the wisdom itself. When we think about three souls in our body, one is mortal, another is immortal, another one is absolute soul. The absolute soul is the one which is spread inside our body, outside the body. So, absolute soul is spread in the creature's body, inside the creature's body, and also outside of the creature's body, beyond that as well. So, that's why the Paramatma, the absolute soul, he spread whole universe and he is beyond that as well. The immortal soul is the one which is inside the creature's body. Whatever the shape of the creature's body is, the same shape that immortal soul will have. So, immortal soul is the one which has the conscious energy inside the creature's body and which will drive the creature. So, that is the immortal soul. And then the mortal soul is the one, is a tiny particle one who is situated inside the head portion in the wheel of gunas or division of dispositions. The wheel of division of dispositions. So, at any time he will be in any one of the emotion in the emotions wheel, the wheel of emotions. So, the mortal soul is very, very tiny, then immortal soul is bigger than that, then the absolute soul is infinite one. So, he is the biggest one. And he is saying in the Slokam that he is like a lord. He is like a lord as he is together as a lord with the with other two souls, that is mortal soul and immortal soul. That is why Pashyanti Yogamaishwaram he said. So, in order to understand in a well manner, Swami explained another example that if there is a person who is having 9 acres of land, when he did not divide that land, all the land is belonging to him. So he got three sons. What he did, he distributed his 9 acres of land equally to all three sons. Each one got 3 acres of the land. Whenever somebody approaches one of his children and asks who this land belongs to, then one of his sons will say that, oh, this land belongs to me, not to my father, he says. When he distributed, it belongs to them, not to the father. When it is not distributed, it's all belongs to him itself. That way, when we don't divide the absolute soul into three souls, it becomes one and everything is within him. That's why he said, Mastani Sarvabhutani. Matstani Sarvabhutani. When we divide it, each one is separated. That's why he said, Nachamastani Bhutani. That way we need to understand. That is what we learned in the last week. Let us move forward learning from the sixth slokam onwards. What is there in the sixth slokam? Let us see. Yatha akashasthito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि matstani ityupadharaya. This is talking about Paramatma. The Paramatma himself is speaking over here. So, what Paramatma is telling is the wind which has the strength and it is spread everywhere, right? All the places it's spread, all in all the directions, and it is within the sky itself, and it has the strength, the power. The wind which is inside, which is in the sky itself, it got the wind, it got the power, strength, force, and it is uh, it's moving in all the directions, it's moving in all the directions. In the similar way, all the creatures are within within Paramatma. Paramatma is saying that you observe all the creatures are within me, like how the wind which gained the force and is able to uh, is, is able to move in all the places, is able to flow in all the places. So he is comparing the wind with the creature. So if you take the sky, sky is a space, is a space. You can't get any grip to stay there. So if you are left in the space, you will fall. You will fall from there. You don't have any base to stand over there. So such kind of sky is there, right? In that sky, the air is there, right? Air, the wind. So which is having the force, the wind is containing the force and is able to push anything with force. It can throw it anything with force. It can even uh, take away the big plant, big trees. It can make the fall down of the trees and buildings, everything. That much strength the wind is containing. The wind contains that much strength. It can flow, blow very forcefully. It can blow in all directions with very powerful force. So that's such a great thing, right? It's a great, amazing thing. Some people may ask over here that we, the human beings, could able to establish skylabs. We are able to send the satellites into the sky, those into the space. Those satellites are spinning around the earth. So they don't have base, but how they are also rotating, right? They are also spinning, right? That they ask a question. So here we need to understand clearly that the wind, which is not having any shape, but the satellites or skylabs have the shape which are made by man. So we should not compare the satellites with wind. So that way, how the wind is having the having the force force in the sky, which is invisible itself. In the same way, the creatures, the mortal souls, are gaining the strength and they are moving. They are moving. They have the movement. They have the movement in the invisible absolute soul. The absolute soul is invisible. The mortal souls are also invisible, but they got the strength and they are able to move. They got the movement itself. So how the air is having the position, in the sky, the similar way the mortal souls also having the position in the absolute soul. So here there is one observable thing here. God said in one slokam that all the creatures are within him, and in the next slokam he said that no creatures are in him, he said. Now in this slokam what he is saying, how the how the sky is became sky is a base for the wind, which is able to move with the strength or force. Similar way, the creatures are moving with the strength within him, he said. So here when we divide the Paramatma, we can see absolute soul, mortal soul, absolute soul, immortal soul, and mortal soul. So when Paramatma compared the creatures with the wind, then what we have to think over here is the immortal soul is the base for the mortal soul, that we have to understand. So if you don't divide Paramatma, then all the creatures, the Paramatma will become the base for all the creatures invisibly. Invisible Paramatma will become the base for all the creatures when we don't divide. When we divide that, then the immortal soul will become into the picture, and it will be the base for mortal soul. Let us move on to the next slokam. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्. So what Paramatma is telling here is all the creatures are merging with nature during the total destruction. When again creation starts, then Absolute Soul is making them to born. To understand it deeply, let's go in depth. So in our body, in our head, there are four wheels. So we know the seal of God, symbol of God, right? In seal of God, there are four wheels: Brahma, Kala, Karma, Guna, Chakras. Chakra means wheel. So the topmost wheel is the Brahma wheel, the big wheel. The Brahma wheel is divided into two parts. So one part is day and another part is night. So whenever one portion is rotating, so then all the world is existing. When another portion is rotating, then the nature, the world will not exist at all. That we call the pralayam, or the total destruction. So this whole world will survive only 1000 ages. Only 1000 ages. That becomes a day time for Absolute Soul. When there is no world, that time is also 1000 ages. So that becomes night time for Absolute Soul. So the 1000 years, which when the world is existing, world exists the 1000 years, right? That 1000 years is called kalpam. Kalpam means which is where the world is existing and all the creatures born, under birth and death, everything happens to all the creatures according to their karma. This world will be existing. So kshaya means, kalpakshaya means the total destruction, where all the world will not be existing at all. So the big wheel, the Brahma wheel, is rotating to complete one spin. To complete one spin, it takes 2000 ages. Okay. So below that wheel, there is a time wheel. Time wheel will rotate once in a year. It will complete one spin in an year. Below that, there is a karma wheel which will finish its rotation once, one rotation in one day itself. So for one spin it takes one day. Below that, lower the lowest wheel is the guna wheel or emotions wheel, so which will finish its rotation in 1 hour itself. To rotate once, it takes 1 hour. So in the emotions wheel, there are 12 emotions: 6 good emotions, 6 bad emotions. If you see the emotions wheel, it is divided into 3 parts: tamasa, rajasa, satvika. In each portion there are 12 gunas. So there are 12 gunas, right? The 12 gunas are divided based on the 9 planets. So that becomes, these 12 gunas or emotions are divided further into 108 parts. So the mortal soul is living in these gunas at any time. So when a guna wheel of guna finishes one rotation, that means 12 emotions into 3 portions, right? That becomes 36. So uh, in one rotation, all the gunas, to 36 gunas will be moved. That means the mortal soul will be rotating, moving into the 36. He will be changing the places into all the 36 emotions in 1 hour itself. That is why our ancient people used to say, for him, he will have 36 gunas in an hour itself. So that way, when we are counting, what happens? There are 12 hours in a daytime. 12 hours into 36 means 432 gunas will come over here. So in the daytime of a human, he is he is moving on to the 432 gunas. So all the 432 gunas are rotating for him. So when we multiply with the absolute souls 1000 ages with 432, then what becomes here is 432,000 number is coming here. That means that many number of emotions here. So based on the emotions, this world is growing or shrinking. So based on that, when we count, the age of Kali Yugam is becoming 132,000 years. Then the Dwapara Yugam is becoming double of the Kali Yugam, 864,000 years. Then Treta Yugam is becoming 3 times of Kali Yugam, that is becoming 1,296,000 years. Then the Kruta Yugam is 4 times of the Kali Yugam, which is 1,722,000 years. This way, the age is of all the the ages ages of age is uh, decided. So the world starts with the Kruta age. When all the 4 ages they finish their rotation 250 times, what becomes here? So what happens when you sum all the 4 ages? It becomes um, 43 million, 4.3 million, 4.3 million, 4,320,000 years. When 4,320,000 years uh, repeat 250 times, it is becoming 108 crore years. 108 crore years. That means um, 10 million is 1 crore. 10 million is 1 crore. 100 million is 10 crore. 100 million. 1 billion is 1 billion is uh, 100 crore years. So that way 1 billion, then uh, 80 million, I think. 1 billion 80 million years, I think. So that much time is the daytime for absolute soul. Similar way, for him the night time is also 108 crore years. Okay, so that way uh, this one is totally calculated with the centric of the creature's emotions. The creature's emotions are taken as the center point and calculated all the ages. So that way we understood about the kalpam. Kalpam means where the world is existing. So kalpam is 108 8 crore years, and the kshayam, which is the total destruction, it is also 108 crore years. Here what Bhagavan is saying is, so during at the end of the world, all the creatures are going to be merged with the nature. So when that time period 108 crore years of the night time for absolute soul is passed, then the kalpadi will start. Then again the creation will start. So then the absolute soul is going to make the creatures reborn again. Let us move on to the eighth slokam. प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृष्णमवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात्. So what he is saying over here, the absolute soul is telling over here, the Paramatma is telling that. So all the creatures are dependent, not independent. They are under the clutches of the nature, and the nature is under the control of absolute soul. And the with the by using the nature, he is making the creatures born again and again. So absolute soul created the nature. He he kept the nature under his control, and he gave all the authorities to the nature to make the creatures born and die, all those things. And also he has provided that nature contains the emotions, karma. uh, the nature is divided into emotions, karma, mind, intellect, chittam, and ego, all those things. So all those things are there in the nature. So the creature is entangled into the nature itself. He is not coming out of that. So he cannot born himself at all. He is dependent totally on the nature itself. The nature is the prakriti itself is making the creatures born and creatures destroying the creatures, all those things. So based on the karma, he is making the creatures born in different ways, different types, different shapes also. So even though the base for the creatures to born, main reason or base for the creatures to born absolute soul, but he he put a layer of nature before him, before him. So he is in the behind the scenes. He is in the behind the scenes. He created the nature. So nature is doing all the tasks behalf of the Paramatma itself. That's what he is telling in this slokam. So let us move on to the ninth slokam. न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जया उदासीनवदासीनमसक्तं तेषु कर्मसु. What absolute soul is telling over here, I don't have interest. um, I am situated on the top portion. Udasina, ut plus asina. Asina means uh, sit. Ut means highest position. And the highest position he sat over there, and he is not having any interest. So he does not get any karma with the things. So what that thing? So nature is taking care all the things, right? Making the creatures born, die, everything. So Paramatma is not doing anything. Absolute soul, he is not doing anything. He is behind the scenes. Just he is witnessing. So the nature is making the creatures born according to the creature's karma. Whatever the creature earned the karma in the past life, based on that, the nature is making the creature born. But so everything he kept in the hands of Prakriti itself, nature itself. And whatever the Prakriti is doing the task, the Paramatma is not involving at all. He is just witnessing, he is not involving there. So, Paramatma is also not getting attached to any karma. So, here, how an ordinary person does not get karma, in the same way, the Absolute Soul, whichever the big task he made of creating whole world, he also does not get karma. He also does not get karma. So that means the Absolute Soul is also following as per the principle whatever he uh, he set up. So even though he is the base for whole creation, he is the main reason for whole creation, but he is making the nature to do the task behalf of him. He is not doing any task. So that is why he is saying that he is not doing anything. He does not have any interest on doing the things. He just is witnessing that. So when there is a destruction, when there is a creation, both the tasks are there. So during that time also he does not have any sin or virtue. No papam or no punyam is coming to him. So when that means the destruction, birth and death. Here the birth and death, the sins attached to the birth and death to the jagati means to the creature. So he is no way involved in that. That does not uh, that does not come to the Absolute Soul or Paramatma. So in the similar way, what Paramatma mentioned for us also, in the previous chapters he said that, so however I am, how I am dealing with those things, like how even though I am in all the I am doing all the things as a Bhagavan, he said. So since I don't have any interest, though I am working to become ideal for you. So he said that, so since I am a yogi, I am not going to get attached to any karma, he said. Similar way, if a man knows that, so with not showing on anything, not showing interest on anything, any external world related thing, and if he becomes udasina means so always merging with absolute soul, immortal soul, thinking that I am not the doer is the immortal soul. That way, when a human being follows, he will not get attached to the any karma. Because of the ego, he is getting attached to karma, right? When he keeps the ego out, then he will not get attached to any karma. Let us stop here. Let us do Mangala Prarthana and end the session. Om Mangalam Gurudevaya Mahaniya Prabodhatmane Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Sadhurupaya Mangalam. Prabodhatnam to everyone.